The truth is, in my business, there's only me who gives a real fucking shit about everything that's going on. It's all on me. It's all on my shoulders. I'm holding it all. And when the launch wobbles come in, things get shaky. The problem isn't that I felt the launch wobbles. That's a normal part of business. It's how you respond when you feel them.
Welcome to the She Who Dares podcast. I'm your host, Krystal Wilson, the founder of She Who Dares. I'm a specialized breakthrough and mindset coach, business mentor, online course creator, and your number one no BS hype woman. I'm here to remind you who the fuck you are and reignite your personal power through powerful and expanding conversations on all things business, mindset, and energetics, to help you break through to your next level of success in all areas of your life, business, and bank account. Each episode is designed to expand your mind, shift your identity, raise your frequency, as well as give you success strategies to help you step into your highest, most powerful, abundant, successful, and magnetic you. So, I dare you to join me each episode, and I double dare you to implement what you learn and go all in on you. All in on your life, your business, your success. Because if you do, like so many of my She Who Dares clients and students, you will become everything that you know deep down you can be. Ready? Let's friggin' do this.
Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. We are going to be getting into a topic that I feel those of you who are in business in the online space will really benefit from. Those of you who are listeners who are like, don't have businesses and you're not so much in the online space, I still think there's a lot of value in what I'm going to speak about today, which is around launching in business. Because if you're not in the online space and you don't have a business, it's just fascinating. I know for me, I find this stuff really fascinating, learning about other people's businesses and like the things that go on behind the scenes. And so today I'm going to be talking about the launch wobbles, which is so perfectly timed because last episode I shared that I was just about to launch the She Who Dares challenge, and we are now officially launched. And something that I experienced since releasing last week's episode and finishing the wait list and all the wait list people joining, and then opening the She Who Dares challenge up to the public on Thursday last week. Like, it's only Sunday as I'm recording this. It's like, what's that? Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's been 3 days. Feels like I've been running an emotional marathon, but it's been 3 fucking days, which is actually so hilarious when I think about it. But something that I've been navigating in the middle of the launch of all of this is what I like to call the launch wobbles. And, you know, I actually have never really heard anyone else speak about this. I feel like a lot of people in the online space launch and just share that it was successful, or if it wasn't successful, they don't share about that kind of behind the scenes. And I've actually honestly never heard anyone, not to say that no one's speaking about it, but I've never heard anyone actually speak about it from a business owner perspective in the online space of like the emotional roller coaster that we go on launching something. And so if you're wondering like, what even is the launch wobbles? It's basically the reference to the emotional roller coaster that we as business owners go on during a launch. And so there are many phases to a launch, but let me kind of break it down to you really simply. And when I say there's many phases, that's because every launch that I've done, so many launches in my business for every different offer and freebie and all the things, like I kind of have many different launch strategies that I might use depending on what I'm launching. And some of those strategies are 1 phase, some of those strategies are 3 phases, some of those strategies are 5 phases. It depends on how big the launch is and how many phases. But let's just break it down for you like really simply. So when you're launching, let's say a new offering or a new product, there are phases to that launch. And a launch in itself, I like to work in about a 90-day period. So when I look at each quarter, I look at what am I selling this quarter? And then I reverse engineer a strategy to sell that particular offer. And so as you guys all know, last week I launched the She Who Dares Challenge. So the She Who Dares Challenge is actually phase 2 of a multi-phase launch that I'm doing between now and the end of the year. So it's complex, it's layered, there are so many moving pieces. And so phase 1 of this launch, I actually created a freebie, which is like an ebook, a guide called The 14 Laws to Unlocking the Successful Woman in Business. And I created this in a beautiful ebook. And the reason I created this ebook as a freebie is that I wanted to put it up on Facebook ads, Meta ads, and I wanted to find in the internet ethos all the women who had businesses who are my ideal client. So phase 1 started a month ago. We started running ads, do a daily lead gen ad to that guidebook, and have women put their email address in. Then they get that freebie as their gift. And then I get to add them to my email marketing list. The reason that I did this is that for really the past few years, I've really focused heavily on my breakthrough work, which is for any woman. You know, the niche is any woman who wants to heal her relationship with herself, wants to up-level in her business. And I've focused a lot of my messaging more on the woman who wants to heal her relationship with herself and break through her limiting beliefs. And I love my breakthrough work. It's my signature work. It'll always be a part of what I do because it's just so powerful. However, in the last kind of like 12 to 18 months, I have been shifting my messaging to speak more to women in business. Now, I've always worked with women in business. I'm just making more of a conscious effort to speak to those women in my marketing, in my social media, in my content. And so that's why phase 1 of this launch was actually creating a guide, a free guide that spoke directly to women in business so that I could add a really dialed in, locked in group of women to my email marketing list who were my ideal client, who had businesses, whether they were product-based businesses or online service-based businesses, whatever it was. So that was kind of phase 1. I've been running those ads for a month. I actually stopped them yesterday, and we had about, I think it was just over 500 new women join our email list, which was a great result. There are a lot of industry standards when it comes to this stuff. So I think I was paying about $1.70 per lead. So every time somebody downloaded my free guide and I received their email in exchange, that lead cost me $1.70, which is a really good cost per lead. Anything under $2 is excellent. So I was really happy with that. And we've been running those ads for about the last month. You might have seen them. Now, what's really interesting is that a week or so before we started running those ads, we were doing a lot of kind of rebranding in the business. You know, my business has always been called She Who Dares. And even though my business is called She Who Dares and we've got the She Who Dares official Instagram, my actual website was krystalwilson.com. And when you guys, those of you who are on my email list, received emails from me, you received emails from the domain krystal@krystalwilson.com. And so because we've been doing a lot of branding and a lot of refining in the business the last 6 months, we came to that stage where we really wanted to focus on building She Who Dares as a brand, as a movement. That's always been my vision. But it was just time to align and just kind of fix up some little loose ends. And so a couple of the loose ends that we fixed up, 1 to 2 weeks before we started the lead gen ads was changing my website domain to shewhodares.com.au. And at the same time, we changed my email domain to hello@shewhodares.com.au so that we have the She Who Dares Instagram, we have a She Who Dares website, we have a She Who Dares email account. And so when we were making these decisions, I just didn't have all of the information. And why would I? Do you know what I mean? That's very much business. You're making decisions quickly. You're moving quickly. There's 100 plates that are spinning all the time, and we're all just doing our best. And so what I didn't know at the time, but I've learned now, is that when we changed our email domain from krystal@krystalwilson.com to hello@shewhodares.com.au, it actually reset years and years of trust that I had built with my email list. And this is a normal thing that happens, but it wasn't communicated to me through my email provider. And I just didn't know. And it's a lesson for me to make sure that I'm getting as much information before I make changes in my business. I thought it was just a simple thing, like people were receiving emails from Krystal@krystalwilson.com. Now they'll be receiving them in the back end from hello@shewhodares. However, that's actually not what happened. So I've been building my email list with Krystal@krystalwilson.com since about 2021. And I have thousands, about just under 3,000, 2,500 women on my email list that I have built a lot of trust with because I've been emailing them regularly for 4 or 5 years from the domain Krystal@krystalwilson.com. And so when we change that over, what actually happens is it resets that domain as though it's a brand new domain, and all of the trust that I have built and all of the work that I have done to build that trust over the last 4 to 5 years with my email list, and my email list and my email marketing is a large part of my business and actually how I generate income, it reset it. And so that happened on like the 7th of the 7th, and I didn't know that was going to happen, and I didn't even become aware that was happening until a couple of weeks in. Then we set up the lead gen ads, and I started paying, $1.70 per lead to add new people to my email list, not realizing that I had just reset my email list. And so there are industry standards on open rates. So when you have an email list and you're building an email list, there are industry standards of the percentage of people who are on your email list that are actually going to open your emails. And before this change, I had a very average, healthy open rate, which was anywhere between 20 and 25% open rate on my email list, which was good. Do you mean it's good? It's average. There's always room for improvement. I mean, I would love that kind of more 25, 30%, but I was happy with my open rate. It was the industry average. Well fucking done. Now, since we've made this change, my email list and all of the emails that I just invested to add to my email list, my email open rate has gone to now about 6 to 11%, which is astronomically bad. And it's not bad because there's something wrong with my email list or my content or what I'm emailing. It's that when we change the domain in which we email people, it reset the trust. So I'm in the middle of a launch that I've been working, honestly, the last 90 days preparing for this launch. I've invested in Facebook ads. I've been paying $1.70 per email over the last month to add new aligned emails to my email list of my ideal client of a woman in business. And at the same time, what I thought was a tiny little decision to just realign the business so everything was streamlined, She Who Dares, and doing that literally a week to 10 days before we officially started the Facebook ads and started running the launch process, it completely reset our email list. And my strategy for this launch was mainly going to be based on my email marketing. That's where I had calculated and strategized for my sales to come from. And so this has all been happening, and it's just been so interesting at watching myself navigate it and then also hold it all. Because I'm in the middle of a launch, I'm working like 12-hour days. There's just so much that goes into a launch. There's so many different funnels. There's so many different email sequences, especially if you're running ads. Like there's ad copy, ad creative, plus you've got to create content. You're nurturing people. There's just so much that goes into a launch, especially like a live launch. And I'm launching something new and I'm speaking to a slightly different group of women to what I normally speak to. There's lots of factors that go into this experience. So now we're in phase 2 of the launch, where I was having women download the freebie, which I was getting great numbers, like really good numbers. And then I was having women then join the wait list for the challenge that was going to open. And again, I was getting, good numbers. I was getting around a 14%, which is actually just around the industry average of what you would expect a very cold lead who doesn't know you yet to be able to take one action and go to another action in your funnel. And that was really good. But what was happening is they hadn't received emails yet. So then we opened up the pre-sale, a 3-day pre-sale just to the people on the wait list, giving them a special pre-sale price. And what I noticed is not a single person who we had just paid for all of those leads through our Facebook ads marketing were actually getting, the emails were going to promotions and to spam because there was no trust. And then that was also happening to the 2,000 plus other emails that I had. So what happened in pre-launch is I had my most loyal, my She Who Dared OGs. Do you know I mean? Like they were like 100%, and they're buying the challenge because I have incredible retention in my business, but they're also buying the challenge because they've worked with me and they know my standard. And I am so grateful like that I've built that trust and those relationships with women who have worked with me once. And now it's like really anything I do, they're like, I want to know what Krystal's teaching now. Like I want to be in that space because they know being in my offerings is going to activate and expand them and deepen their work that we've done previously. We had a really good number of conversions from our waitlist who purchased the challenge. However, at the same time, our email marketing just completely tanked to that 11%, which means that almost 2,500, 3,000 people email list, only 150 to 300 people, you know what I mean? Don't girl math me there. I think when I lost the figures, that was it. Actually seeing the emails. And so this created a problem in our launch strategy because we've invested all of this money in ads for the last month. We've done a lot of work, like refine those ads. Those ads were converting. It was excellent. But then this happened. And so what I noticed is once I actually worked out what was happening, because I didn't notice this straight away, once I worked out what was happening, I definitely felt the launch wobbles start to enter my stratosphere, and they entered pretty hard. And I found myself checking my phone, checking for notifications, seeing who was joining. And we were having people joining in that pre-sale, which was excellent. But I just woke up on the last day of the pre-sale, which is the Thursday morning, which was also the morning that we were going to open to the public, which was literally 3 days ago. I'm just reminding myself of that because I'm like, Krystal, it's been 3 fucking days, but it just felt like I have been carrying the weight of the world. When you're in business, it's so isolating. Like one little thing can feel like your whole world is exploding. And I'm constantly reminding myself that it's fucking okay. Chill out. Like you've navigated these waters before. But the morning of Thursday after pre-sale had closed at midnight that night, and then the public enrollment was going to open, I just woke up in some deep as fuck launch wobbles. And I had a full day of back-to-back clients, and everything in me just wanted to stay in bed and cry. I just wanted to cry. I'm in the doom of it all, and I can see what I'm doing. And I hate that I'm doing that to myself because I know better. I've been in business a long time. Every launch, there's going to be some kind of tech issue. There's going to be something that you just cannot prepare for that are probably going to have an impact on your results. But what I believe and my belief and what I embody and what I teach and what I remind myself is I'm more fucking powerful than that bullshit. So that bullshit can be thrown at me and I've just got to get back up. I've got to recover. I've got to keep going. I believe in my work. I know how powerful this is. I'm not going to let, a fuck up with our email list take me out of the game. But when I woke up on Thursday morning, it had absolutely taken me out of the game. I wanted to cancel all my clients. I wanted to stay in bed. I wanted to cry. I wanted to have a pity party. And I was just feeling such heavy emotions. And I just was sad for myself and the beautiful experience that I'd just spent the last 90 days creating, because it deserved better than that, regardless of any mistakes that have been made in the back end. And so I was upset that I was waking up on day one of my launch feeling so fucking shit, feeling like I'd already failed, feeling like I'd fucked up, feeling like I wasn't going to get the sales, feeling like I've just invested all this money and all this time. I've been working 12-hour days. I went away on a holiday with Bruce and I worked every day that we're away, and not from a place of, I love it. I was excited. I was like so lit up, and I still am, to like get this thing out there, to invite women into this challenge. I know if I can just get these audios in the ears and souls and hearts of these women, that this is going to make such a huge impact. And so to wake up on day one feeling like I fucked it, it's fucked. I was angry at myself more than anything. I was like, Krystal, you know better. Like, you never, as a business owner, want to open launch of something you've put your heart and soul into feeling like on day one you failed. And so that is what we call the launch wobbles. It's like you're in the phase of building the thing and you're so excited. It's so aligned. You're so excited to get it out there. And then like day one comes to like put the thing out there, and then you're like, oh shit. And so I feel like I've been in business long enough where I don't get the launch wobbles just for the sake of getting the launch wobbles. If something happens in the back end that was like semi out of my control that I know is going to impact my results, that's what really fucking grinds my gears. And that's something that I've got to work on. I don't launch something and go into launch wobbles with no reason to go into launch wobbles. I think there was an older version of me who absolutely would do that. Just the fear of putting the thing out there. And then the questions, is anyone going to even buy this? But what I found now, having been in business so long, having done so many launches, it's more when I have like a tech issue. Because like even my last launch, I haven't done a launch like this since May 2024. And that's mainly because I spent most of last year doing IVF. There's a lot of energy and work, and you really put your soul and heart into a launch. And I really wanted to make IVF and falling pregnant my number one priority. So I just focused on one-to-one clients most of last year. But even that last launch that I did, we had huge tech issues that impacted the results. And so for it to be happening again, and it's been like 18 months since I've done my last launch, I definitely struggled. It triggers you. It brings up emotion. And even though I know what I'm doing, I was frustrated that I was even feeling these things. So I had to just really work on my energy. So what I did, I just want to share with you what I did. I woke up on Thursday morning and I was in it. I was basically woke up crying. I woke up crying, wanted to cancel all my clients, and I had a full day. I had 5 or 6 back-to-back clients. I had a huge to-do list. There was still so much to do that day for the launch. And I think I was probably just feeling a little bit burnt out, a little bit tired, a little bit like I would like to run away and hide right now. But I was like, Krystal, you need to shift your energy. You're not canceling your clients. You're definitely not fucking staying in bed and crying all day. That's not the standard. That's not what we do around here. That's not what you teach. That's not who you are. And so I wrote about 14 pages in my journal. And what I did first was got it all out. Do you know what I mean? All the emotion, all the shadow, all the shit, all the feelings, all the inner mean girl thoughts. I just got them out of me and onto paper, because I didn't want to hold them in my body, in my psyche, in my mind anymore. So I got it all out. I had a big pity party, like the first 7 pages. This is fucked. I fucking hate this shit. I can't believe this is happening. Had my pity party. And then I switched to scripting. And I reminded myself who I am. I reminded myself of that actually it doesn't even matter that there were tech issues, because I'm going to find a way out of no way. I believe in this work. I put my heart and soul into this work. I know the power of this work. I'm not going to let a tech issue, an email issue. I'm not going to let the fact that no one's reading or opening my emails because of this email situation stop me from creating the impact that I decided to create 90 days ago when I started working on this. And so that's what I do with my scripting. I anchored back into who the fuck I am. I reminded myself who the fuck I am. Now, did it instantly change my energy and I just got out of bed like a superhero? No. I had to hold all of my heavy emotions and I had to start feeding what I wanted to grow, which was possibility, which was my power, which was my leadership, which is so interesting because this is exactly what I'm teaching you all in the She Who Dares challenge, these are the She Who Dares laws. And I jumped into my first client session, and I knew the client, and I think also like my first client that day I knew was having just a tougher week, and I knew that I was going to need to hold her. And I was questioning, do I have the capacity today to give my clients the level of service and love that I normally give them? And the answer to that was, yes, you fucking do, Krystal. Do what you need to do to set your energy, and then you get in those sessions and you serve your clients at the level that you always do. And I got into my first session with my client, and I knew she'd had a tough week, and I knew she needed me to show up that session. Like, even though I felt like I needed a day in bed crying, I knew my client needed me. And so we got into that session, and it was just such a beautiful reminder and confirmation of the power of this work. We had a beautiful session. I felt so much lighter finishing that session with her and helping her shift through the heaviness that she was feeling. She had no idea that I was also woke up that morning wanting to sit in bed and eat pasta and watch Netflix and cry all day. She didn't know that. By the end of the session, she had shifted what she needed to shift. I had shifted what I had needed to shift. I'd held her. And just by being able to be of service to her, she had helped me shift and bring me back into my power, remind me of who I am and the work I do. It doesn't fucking matter. There's always going to be something that could take you out of the game. And it's up to us to decide, are we going to allow that thing to take us out of the game? Or are we going to stand back up, remind ourselves who the fuck we are, and keep going? And that's what I did. And it got to about like 2, 3 o'clock. I finished all my clients. Every single session was amazing. Every single client needed me that day, and I needed them in that session just as much. And I finished the day just feeling so grateful, and also just had so much compassion. I didn't wake up with compassion for myself. I was angry at myself for having the launch wobbles. But by the end of the day, I had compassion for myself. Now, that was Thursday. It's now Sunday as I'm recording this. You're going to receive this on Wednesday. And I'm not going to lie to you and say that I've not still been like navigating it. It's like a roller coaster. You feel it at its like depths. And that's what I woke up on Thursday. I was like, this is fucked. Like, all of the work I've put in is fucked, which is not true. It's not a reality. And then I've done the work over the last few days to shift my energy, refocus, realign my energy. But there have been moments where I've still cried, and I've been like, no, maybe this really is fucked. No, maybe this is going to be a huge failure. And that's the truth. It's like me feeling the launch wobbles, me having thoughts going, am I a failure? Is this going to be a failure? That is the very human part of me, okay? I'm not wrong or less or broken because I feel that. The difference is that when we feel that, which you're going to feel in business and in life, it's like what you choose to do when you feel it. So when I feel that, I hold it, I witness it, I nurture it, I try to give myself compassion and understanding, and I do everything I possibly can to switch my focus, to reframe the negativity and the heaviness that's coming out of me, to align myself back on my path of leadership and power. And it's not easy. As I said, I'm laughing when I'm realizing that it's only been 3 days. I feel like I've ran an emotional marathon the last 3 days. And it's only been 3 fucking days. And where I've landed now, I actually woke up this morning and I said to Bruce, it's balls to the motherfucking wall. Like, nothing and no one is going to stop me from making this successful. I know these laws. I wrote them. I started writing these laws in a note, like in Microsoft Word in 2023. And I just started like putting them into the sequence. And I started writing about it. And I was like, wow, this is so powerful. Like, this has to be something. And then, life got in the way and I forgot about it. And then I was actually in a challenge the end of last year that was an audio challenge. And I just loved it. And while I was in that challenge, I remembered the laws that I started writing in 2023. And I thought to myself, wow, this model of delivering the laws in an audio that people can listen to, that would be the most powerful way for me to actually take these laws that I've been writing and put them into the sequence and audios into the ears of women all over the world to make this huge impact in their lives and business, because these laws are this incredible sequence that I have studied and seen in 10 years in the online space working with women that unlock your success, your leadership, your personal power, so that you can actually become the version of you who creates the thing that you want to create. And it's been so interesting because the last 3 days I've been recording those audios. And I love it when the universe does this to me, because it's happened to me many times in business where I am literally integrating again the thing that I've created and teach. So as I'm recording the laws for all of you, when you purchase and listen to them, so many of them I needed to be reminded of as I was in my launch wobbles. It was just this beautiful reminder of how important and how powerful this work is, because we're not immune from it. You're even being in business 10 years, having done, I couldn't even tell you how many launches, over 50 in the last 10 years, more launches, different strategies. Some have been hugely successful. Some were, wow, you know what I mean? And I've kept going. I can't even tell you, these laws are what I come back to. The last 3 days, as I've been recording them, I've been implementing the laws to realign my energy back to my power, back to my purpose. And so this morning I woke up and I said to Bruce that it's balls to the motherfucking wall, which is something I used to say in my sales career when I was having rough times. I used to go into my boss's office. He was the owner of the company. And I'm like, it's balls to the fucking wall. Today I'm going to make this many sales. Today I'm going to be unstoppable. And it was usually after a period of feeling like I was the biggest failure in the fucking world that I would dig deep into my soul. Do you know what I mean? When I felt like I had nothing left to give. And it was in those moments that I would draw a line in the sand and step over it. And I felt like this morning that happened. On Saturday, I lied in bed and cried. And then on Sunday morning, I drew a line in the sand this morning and said, Bruce, it's balls to the wall. I'm not going to let nothing stop me from getting this work into the ears, hands, hearts of women. I know the power of this. And it doesn't matter how many tech issues, how many fuck ups that are out of my control that happen are going to stop me from making this challenge as powerful as I know it's meant to be and can be. And it doesn't matter. This is what's really important, because we can get caught up in business in numbers. So for me, part of letting go of the launch wobbles was I always look at data, and I love to look at industry standards and stats and percentages. So I had a really good idea of the percentage of women that were going to come from this funnel and purchase and vice versa. And I had it all mapped out. And I am not meeting those numbers because of the email fuck ups that have happened along the way, which is fine. And so part of me making peace with this launch and coming back into my power was me also surrendering to how many women join. It actually doesn't fucking matter. I don't care. Even though there is a version of me, two things can coexist at the same time. There is absolutely a version of me who does care about how many women join, but I'm going to feed and lean into the version of me who's, you know what, Krystal, I am in a rip right now. I'm in the ocean in a rip, and I feel like I am thrashing and I'm trying to survive this little rip, which is actually a launch wobble. And I just need to lie on my back, conserve my energy, and know and trust that those who are meant to be in this challenge with me and receive these learnings, these laws, these lessons at this time will fucking be in the challenge with me. I'm going to do everything I need to do. I'm going to be in my power, and I'm going to lead, because I lead, the universe follows. When I move, the universe moves with me. I'm going to do everything in my power. I'm going to dig deep to make sure that this is successful, but the number doesn't make it successful. That's what I have made peace with. And any of you have businesses launching, there's just, yeah. And if you're in this right now, I'm sending you so much love, because I fucking get it. I get it. For those of you who are don't have businesses and are listening, you're like, whoa, yeah. A lot of work goes into it. Small business is not for the faint-hearted. Small business is not for the weak. I'm a one-woman show, and then my VA, Tiffany, and we are both working so hard right now. And then I've got my editor who's doing the editing. I have such a small team, and they're all have their own lives and their own things going on. The truth is, in my business, There's only me who gives a real fucking shit about everything that's going on. It's all on me. It's all on my shoulders. I'm holding it all. And when the launch wobbles come in, things get shaky. The problem isn't that I felt the launch wobbles. That's a normal part of business. It's how you respond when you feel them. And that's what I want you to take away from this, even if you don't have a business. So if you've got big shit going on and it feels like the ground beneath you shaking, it feels like you're feeling a lot of emotions, it feels like you want to quit, run, hide, it's okay that you're feeling that. That's very normal. What you want to work on is how you respond. And most of the time we don't respond, we react. And that means that we allow the big thing that's happening to control our emotions. And the work is then bringing yourself back into your power, your self-leadership, and actually choosing how you're going to respond to the big, shitty fucking thing that's happening. And that's what I have been doing. And so I'm not higher than anyone. I'm not sitting on some mountain. I'm not at the top of the hierarchy saying I have it all figured out. I am sharing this because I want you to know that I launch things and things fuck up and mistakes are made, and it does knock me down. I do feel the launch wobbles, and I felt all the things. I've cried many tears over the last 3 days, but I've taken all the tools I have, all the resources I have, and I have course corrected. And so I'm not beating myself up anymore that I felt that, but I am focused on, well, what are you going to fucking do about it, Krystal? And what I'm going to do about it is do everything I can to make this successful and trust that the women who are meant to be in this experience with me will be in this experience. And I think there's already over like 17 of you. And even if there are only 17 of you, we're going to have the best. And it's not even only, I want to get rid of that. If there are 17 women I trust and know wholeheartedly, then you are the 17 women that I am meant to serve and guide through this challenge. And that is going to be fucking brilliant. And I am so grateful. Now, on that note, if you're on my email list, if you want to know how you can help me right now with the whole email thing, is because you've been receiving emails from me, from Krystal at Krystal Wilson, which you probably haven't even noticed. Like this change, you probably haven't noticed. It's like in the tech world, the back end of email marketing, because it's now coming from hello at She Who Dares. If you wanted to help me, and if you're an OG and you can hear my pain and suffering, it would mean so much to me if you go to your spam or your promotions, because that's where the emails are probably now going, and just move it to your main inbox. Like that alone would help me to rebuild the trust that I lost in the tech side of things with the email domain changeover. And then also, if you really want to help, it's responding. So once you move it to your main inbox and you open and you read it, you can just respond, hey, Krystal, got your email. Thank you. Love it. Or, you know what I mean? Just even, hey, like I've been getting like Bruce and my friends to like just respond to my emails, because it can take a long time to rebuild that trust. And that's okay. It is what it is. You know, everything's happening for a greater purpose and a higher good. But yeah, it would mean so much to me if you move your emails back into your inbox and respond to them. They're little actions on your behalf would actually really help me to get my email back to where it was before we made that change. Love you guys. Thank you so much for coming to my TED Talk. And I hope that you take something away from this. I hope that there's something in this for you, whether you're a business owner or not, that you can relate to my vulnerability and my honesty and take something powerful away from it. If you want to join the challenge, we are open. We start on the 25th of August. I would love to welcome you. Honestly, these audios are going to be so fucking powerful and you'll have them forever. So come join us. We'll pop the link to join in the show notes. Love you guys. I'll see you next time.
Thank you so much for joining me for today's episode. If you loved this episode, be sure to share that with me by leaving me a review, and head over to the She Who Dares official Instagram account at She Who Dares Official. Hit follow, slide into my DMs, and share with me the impact this episode has had on you. And before you go, I'm going to leave you with this. The universe is responding to you. It is following your lead. You are the one who has to move first. And when you do, the whole universe will move with you, because It's I lead, the universe follows. When I move, the universe moves with me. That is our official She Who Dares mantra. I want you to write it down, put it on a mirror, and I want you to remind yourself of it every day. When I lead, the universe follows. When I move, the universe moves with me. When you follow this She Who Dares mantra, you are going to unlock the magic of the universe, and you are stepping into your most powerful self. I can't wait to see you for the next episode. Thanks for being here.